Hi, I'm Matthew Powell and today we're at the wonderful Chorley Springs Fishery. In this video I'm going to show you how to approach a fishery for the very first time. So let's get down to the lake, have a look at the features and pick a peg to fish. So having a quick walk around the lake, I can see here that there's a bit of a cold breeze coming in, which particularly I don't like when I'm coming to pick a swim. So potentially with this cold breeze coming in, the fish could be on the back of the wind, which is warmer. It's going to be warmer, more sheltered, and the water's going to be a little bit more still. So I think this side of the lake for me is going to be, I think it's going to be a little bit more tricky. So I think let's go over the other side of the lake, pick a peg and go and get set up. So we've had a walk around and I've chose peg 3. Now the reason I've chose this peg is there's a few features down the margins which is going to hold fish, but more importantly it's on the back of the wind. I don't want to sit in that cold wind. Today it's a bit cold, you know, we can feel it, the fish are going to feel it. So the water over there is going to be a little bit cooler, a little bit colder. Here we're a little bit more sheltered and I think the fish are going to be a little bit more confident in this area. So let's get set up and I'm just going to show you the different lines that we're going to fish and into a little bit more detail. Now I've got everything plumbed up, it's time to introduce a little bit of bait. Now, where I'm going to first feed is really important. So I'm going to feed my deep line in my deepest part of my peg. So I've chose a deep swim, a shallow swim up against the island, and down by these features on the lilies. So what I'm going to do now is introduce some bait. My ground bait is F1 Sweet from Mainline, F1 Dark and Green Supreme in equal quantities. Really good mix for all styles of fish and you can add quite a lot of particles to it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to nip a tiny little ball, add some 4mm pellets to it, sell 4mm pellets and a couple of pieces of corn. I want to be quite selective, I want to catch decent stamp fish. So I'm just going to introduce that ball. So fishing 7 metres out, line up with my far bank marker and all I'm going to do is just take my time, introduce that ball and then tap everything else out. And that's it, that's all I'm going to feed. The next time you see me is when I go out with a top kit on and I'm going to fish hard pellets in the slightly shallower water. We've given that short line where I put that ground bait in, half an hour. Now I'm just going to have a quick look on it, just to see if we can catch a few fish. So there's a few bubbles coming up. We're just going to have a quick look. Today I'm using a prototype float, which is the MVR 1.5 mils in a 0.6 of a gram. Using a 0.6, it's really deep on this lake. It's like a full top kit deep. So that's the reason for the 0.6 float. Oh, there you go. Well, that seems to be a nice fish, that does. That's a nice surprise. That could be foul up, that one. Just take my time, it could be a decent fish, so we just take our time. Only fishing 012, so, oh, that's going a bit. Oh, crikey. I didn't know there was these in here. It's a bit angry. Yeah, the float I'm using today is a prototype float. 016 mainline, MBR rig mono mainline. O12 MBR hook length mono for the hook link. And then a nice size 16 hook, so really balanced. See if we can get this one in. An 8 to 11 dual core, my favourite elastic. They've done half pull in this lake. Oof. Only small fish, but they go absolutely mental. Just take my time with it, make sure I get him in. See, although I'm fishing really light, you can catch decent fish on it. You just need to take your time. You know, if you're fishing really heavy, 016, 018, 020 even, you know, you're missing out on so many of the other fish in the lake. Oh, look, he's a beautiful fish, he is. He's in the mouth as well, so that's good. See, like I said there, if you're fishing really, really heavy, sometimes you can miss out on skimmers, roach, you know, big bream, crucians, tench. So by fishing the way I am, I can get everything in. It's not a massive fish, but just on it wants to go for it, like. It could be ours now. It's only about £4, but it's for us now. There we go, and he's in the net. So that rig I'm using, I'm fishing nice and light, but you can catch decent fish on it. That's not bad for a first chuck, is it? Let's hold him up for the camera. That's first chuck on my short line, and we've nailed a beautiful mirror. Look at him. He's a stunner, isn't he? Oh, happy with that. Right, let's get him back. Let's go again. So now I've had one, I feel like I don't need to introduce any more bait at the moment, because hopefully there's going to be another one there. So all I'm going to do is put my rig in. So bring my bulk over the top, fold it back over, and that's my rig in. Now all I'm going to do is hold my float out the water, let it all straighten up, and then lower it down nice and slowly. There you go. Like, that's fishing now. So that's great. That's a great start, that is. And there's a small fish. So with that small fish now, there's a nice little roach, look. So obviously, like I said when I was playing that carp before, lovely little roach. So like I said, if I was fishing really, really heavy, I'd be missing out on them fish, you know, roach, skimmers, bream, you know, tench or something like that. Yes, they're not the biggest fish in the world, but these sort of venues, that's what it's all about. It's about catching fish, coming, enjoying yourself, enjoying your pleasure session or your match. If you have a match on a venue like this, it's all about enjoying yourself and keeping fish coming. So there's no need to refeed because I've just fed that ball. And then 4 mils. This is where now a lot of people get it a little bit wrong. So what I mean by that is when they're fishing and they've missed a bite or it takes a little bit of time to hook a fish, they start putting even more bait in, and sometimes it can have the adverse effect. It can just go really, really poor. You know, you can overfeed your peg. So for me, even if it takes a couple of minutes just to hook a fish, it means that, one, the fish aren't in your peg at the moment. If you just keep piling and piling bait in, they're not gonna come. They're just gonna back off and back off. So the best thing to do is just keep little tiny bits going in throughout the day, and that way then you're building a peg rather than just dumping a load of bait in. Oh, that's a liner there. So we've definitely got fish in the peg. Another thing I am going to do in a minute, I'm going to feed this line down on my lilies here. So I think potentially that could be really, really good down there. It's going to be fun trying to get them out, but we'll see what we can do. So now I haven't had a proper bite, which means either there's a slightly bigger fish in my peg, or I fed that bait and it might have spooked them a little bit. So just be patient. What I can do is I can just bring my thing out just to check that my expander's still on. Just lay that rig back in. Like I say, we've only started fishing, so there's no point worrying. You know, we've had a carp straight away, we've lost one, and we've had a roach, so it's a good start. It might have been a little bit of a mistake putting that ground bait in just. Because definitely I've put that ground bait in with them pellets, refed it, and it seems to have done the opposite of what I wanted it to do. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this pot off. I'm going to come away from the line a little bit, leave it just to settle, and I'm going to put some bait in on these lilies down here, and I'm going to give it a quick go. I think potentially what I've done is I've fed that little ball of ground bait again with them pellets in, and it's just spooked them a little bit. They're really, really cagey and really wary, I think, in this lake. I think I'm going to cut the ground bait out altogether. Oh, I've just bumped one there. So there's definitely fish there. They're just being a little bit cagey. In fact, what I am going to do, I'm going to just try a couple of dead maggots, because that could be really good here, I think. So let's just try a couple of dead maggots. Like I say, I've never been to this fishery before. It's all new to me. So I'm just going to put two dead red maggots on. Test me elastic's okay, it's fine. Pop that rig in. Now if I don't have anything on this, I know 100% there's not a decent fish in my peg. So what would be probably good to do is feed a few 4mm pellets on this line, and then try on these lilies. Only give it 5-10 minutes. And there's a couple of blows coming up now, which is a good sign. A really good sign, actually. So I'm just going to lift my rig out, see if I can tempt one. Because there is, talking to the owner this morning, he's stocked all the lakes. And there's a load of stocky carp in here, so hopefully this is where we're going to start catching them soon. Ooh. Very strange. He's burgled me. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a little tiny, I think they're going a little bit silly on that ground bait, so I'm just going to put 10 to 15 4mm in. I'm going to refeed that and then have a quick go down on these lilies, see if there's anything there. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to scatter them in like that, make a bit of noise, and leave that just to try and just leave it a little bit, see if anything happens. Now I'm going to go on this rig down the edge on these lilies. Just need to shorten my line down slightly. So the rig I'm using on this is a lot heavier, obviously because of the lilies, and I don't know what I'm going to catch. I might get a big carp, it might try and tow me in there, so I need slightly heavier gear to try and combat that. So I've got a 0.6 float on, .020 main line, and then a nice decent 0.14 MVR hook length. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little pot on the end, just like that. I'm just going to feed a few 4mm, a few grains of corn. Now with everything being really deep as well, you know, you can't feed ground bait. You know, you've got to feed particles because it's really deep. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to try this quickly. Just feed a little bit of bait. That's the baiting. I'm just going to feed a few 4mm. And there we go, we're fishing. And there you go. So that's the first one down the edge. It seems to be a better fish. Like you see now, that's the first feed I've done. So it's a good start. Absolutely mental. Oh, he behaved himself then, and then all of a sudden he just shot off. Right, so let's try that again. So we've just introduced a little bit of bait. Yeah, it looks like a decent carp. Oh, that's a really nice fish, that is. Just wrapped itself around in there. You just take your time, don't rush. Make sure everyone counts. Oh, look at him, he's a stunning fish, he is. And there we go, in the net. Beautiful. Oh, really dark, angry fish. Almost like wild carp. He's a stunner. I'm gonna hold him up because he's an absolute stunner, he is. He's a stunning fish, him. Look at him. He's an absolute stunner. So yeah, at the moment, really good start. It's going really well. Let's catch another one. Oh, there we go. Fighting fit. if you are going to come to a place like this, you know, for a pleasure session or even a match, you know, there's some places, some clubs who book venues like this for matches, and you know, if you're part of a club, brilliant. So the best advice I can give for anybody fishing this sort of venue is don't go overcomplicating everything. You know, I started long when I introduced that bait short. I started long to the island, 16 metres. You know, it's a lot of effort. I did catch a couple of carp, but then my first chuck on that short line is I had a carp straight away. So for me, that cancels that area out. I don't need to fish it. And then we've come down here, we've had one straight away. So you don't have to break your back with this sort of fishing. It's a nice little intricate pond that we're fishing today. Utilise your margins where your features are. Don't feed loads of baits. Keep sneaking bait in little piles, and then have 2 lines going. Feed your deep line, rest it, go onto your other line. So I think today what I've learned straight away is, because it's a deep margin, fish are going to come in there comfortably. It's not going to take a load of time. You know, it's not really shallow. It's nice and deep. You're up against a feature that, oh, I've just missed the bite there. So the fish are going to be confident because it's deep. They've got some water above their head, so that they're not going to be shy. They're going to be confident and they're going to come in. So just stick to 2 lines. One in the deep water out in front of you somewhere, and then one down. I'm just going to put a few more 4 mils in there, just a couple more, and then one down to your marginal feature. You know, if it was a match, you know, I'd probably fish it a little bit differently. I probably would try and get out to that island, but necessarily you don't have to, because I proved that. I'll just have it just in case my lines do end up drying up and I've got to get out there and give it a go. Hopefully now we can pick up another carp, because I've just missed that bite and there's definitely fish down there. Oh, and I've just bumped one. So there's definitely fish there. I think what's not helping is the depth, because it's so deep. I don't think the fish, they're going to be really tricky to catch because it's so deep. So again, just nice and slow, take your time. I've fed last cast, there's no need to feed again. So I'm just going to hold my rig out the water, let it all straighten up, and then lower it down to the fish nicely. There you go. So the session's going really well. Oh, there's another bite I've just missed there. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try. I've got a 6mm expander on, 6mm cell, mainline cell expander. And what I've done with them, I've put a little bit of the mainline F1 sweet dye on, which makes them like a yellowy colour. So now I know they like that, I'm going to put a piece of corn on. Same sort of visual colour. And corn's going to stay on a lot more. It's a lot heavier. So hopefully I can just pin that bait down a little bit more and feed a few 4mm, because I've missed a couple of bites. There you go. We're not going mad, just feeding a bit of bait. So get that corn in. Right, that corn's in now. So this sort of fishing, when you're up against lilies like this, there you go, there's one. And then you can ship out straight away, get that fish away from the lilies and get it into open water. So that's perfect. And there's more fish there as well. So now we've had that one, I think it's going to be really good. That could possibly be a better stamp fish as well. which is good. So I'm just mindful because the last time we hooked one, it went absolutely mental as well. So I'm just going to be a little bit mindful how I play it. Oh, that's a really nice fish, that one. Just going to keep it away from them lilies because it could still go mental and try and do me in them lilies. That's a really nice fish, this one. Oh, yes, he's a beauty. He's a really nice fish here. Just let him calm down. Oh yeah, that's a lovely fish. That's definitely the biggest fish of the day so far. And like I say, I'm not feeding loads of bait. I'm just trickling a bit of bait in, fishing for one fish at a time. Oh, he's a stunning fish, he is. Let's hold this one up for the camera as well, because he's a beauty. He's a good 6 pound, that one. He might be a bit lively, this one, because he's coming a bit fast, but oh, he's a stunning fish. Look at him. He's a beauty. Right, let's get him back. Let's set that trap again, and let's go again. And away. Right. So that's a really good start now. I feel that I've got 2 lines going. They're blowing now on that deeper line. So what I'm going to do, just while I'm fishing this short line, I'm just going to put a little bit more bait in on my deep line, because I'm still catching. You know, this short line's good, so I'm going to stay there for a little bit longer. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to introduce a few more 4mm pellets and a tiny 3 grains of corn in on this long line, well, my deep line, shall I say. Just going to scatter them in, just like that. So it's all about keeping. It's all about keeping these lines going all the time. You know, there's no point not feeding it, because I've got to keep feed there, because before you know it, they're going to eat everything that's in your peg and they're going to disappear from you. It's not so bad in a pleasure session, but if you're in a match, it's the worst thing ever, because the person next door is going to start catching and they're going to take your fish away from you. So all we're going to do is do exactly the same as what we've just done. Piece of corn on, down this edge to these lilies. Tap some 4mm in, probably 10, 15 4mm. Pull my rig out the water. And just lower my rig in nice and slowly. There we go. Perfect. So, everything's set, my trap's set. Just need to wait now for a positive bite. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long, because there seems to be a few fish there now willing to feed. And there you go. Just trying to get in the lilies, so you just hold your pole out, hold your pole, just hold it. That's why you always have another section behind you as well. Just ship out another section and just hold your pole out into the lake and slowly bring it round. There you go, he's out now. So, there we go. This could be, I think this could be a different fish, this. I think it could be a, I don't think it could be a little carp, or I think it is a little carp. It is, it's a tench. Oh, yes. Look at him. I thought it might be a different fish, and it is. Look at him. And he's stunning. I love tench. Beautiful fish. Look at him. Lovely little orange eye on him. Oh, love tench. There you go. But this is the beauty of these little tiny venues. You never know what you're going to catch. Absolutely brilliant. Let's get him back. I'm dying to have another go now. You know, this is what these venues are all about. You never know what you're going to catch. You know, it's the mysterious, it's the unknown. I'm really enjoying this now. So again, a few little pellets. Let's fish on that deep line again as well, so that's good. Just going to introduce them. I think I've got a little bit of slime on my hook length, so that's bad angling from me. I need to get that off. Cracking little tip. Always make sure you get the slime off. So I fed that bait, so I can go in again now. So just lower my rigging. And as you see in there, that's the reason why I've got the section behind me. So when I hit the fish, I ship the section out, and it just helps to get it away from the lilies, because that tench then was trying to do me in the lilies. It's drifted off my marker a little bit, so I'm just going to hold my float up. There's definitely a load of fish there now. So all I'm going to do is just lower it in nice and slowly. There you go, that's better. So as you can see, I'm not piling bait in, I'm just setting little traps. Don't put too much bait in because the fish, oh, another little tiny little bite there, little indication. The fish will just back away from you. It's all about setting these little traps. Don't feed a lot of bait and just keep some of these pellets going in. You know, if you start putting loads and loads of bait in, it does the opposite effect for me. You just end up killing your swim. And every fish that was in your peg, they just go and you just don't see them again. So I like to, oh, there might be a few small fish in the peg now, that's the only problem. I've had 2 bites there and just missed both. So now it might be time, now I've missed them couple of bites, it might be time to try my line in the slightly deeper water, because we're getting little silly indications. Just going to give it another couple of minutes. If I don't get a bite, I'm just going to refeed it and then go out on that deep line again, just to see if there's anything there. Oh, another little touch. So just be patient and wait for that flow to rock it under. It'll be 1 minute it's there and then the next minute it's gone. So all these little tiny indications, these plucks and these little pecks, leave them. Getting blows there, so there's definitely fish there. Just need to wait for that bite that just goes straight under. Oh, that was a nice little bite, that was. I think there might be a few small fish coming to the peg. Now this is what happened on that other line. There's a few small fish coming to the peg. And I think them big fish just back off a little bit because they've been, you know, you've caught a few fish and them big fish don't like it, they're really wary. So there you go, and there's one. So get that out. Could be another tench, the way it's going. Yeah, I think it is another little tench. So now we've caught that fish, I'm definitely going to refeed it and I'm going to go out on my other line. Yeah, I think it is a tench. There you go, another little tench. So now I've caught that tench. There you go, look, another little tench. Love tench. Oh, look at him, he's beautiful, he is. He's a beautiful little fish. Oh, look at that. So straight away now we know that there's definitely fish to be caught on both lines. So although we're catching on there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my top kit down, because I'm just wary that we're catching a few too many fish on each line. So I'm just going to pop a bit of bait in, a few more because I'm going to give it a rest. I'm going to pop a few 4mm in, probably 34mm now, so it's two to three feeds worth of bait. So I'm just going to put them in there, make a bit of noise, spread it over a bit of an area, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a quick look on my deep line just to see if there's anything there now, because we fed that bait before. I definitely want to make sure that there's still fish there. We're going to be nice and positive now as well. I'm going to change my hook. I'm going to put a slightly bigger hook on, a size 14 like I have done down the edge. Because it's roughly the same depth, believe it or not. So 0.14 MVR hook length mono to a size 14 MVR F1 finesse hook. Love them hooks for this style of fishing. So we're going to pick out a decent piece of corn. I'm going to be really selective now and see what fish are actually in my peg on that deep line. I'll put a few pellets in. I'm not going to feed any ground bait, because like before, I think the ground bait had a little bit of an adverse effect on the peg, so I don't want to be feeding baits that they're not, oh God, just got hooked up there and all my baits come out, so my baits come off as well. So let's get a new piece of bait on. So, decent piece of corn, pop that on. A few pellets, it's not loads of pellets, just a few, about 10. Make sure everything's all right, and then ship out. Rattle them pellets in from a height, make a bit of noise. And I'm going to wait for everything to straighten up, and then lower it down slowly. And there we go, fishing. So we haven't fished this line for a while, so we might, we might not get a bite, but it's always good. There you go. Ooh, straight away. So we know there's fish there still. It's just dependent on what fish they are. We know there's fish on these lilies because they're still there. They're still blowing. So that's a good sign. We've still got fish there. So we just need to see what fish we've got on this deeper line. So that little tiny touch there to start with, but now, oh, there's just been a little blow come up to the side of my float. So there's definitely still fish there. It's just what sort of stamp fish they are. No, a little indication there, little liner. Hopefully they're decent stamp fish, and we can start and get nice 2 lines going and get some good fishing in. Oh, little tiny indication there. So I think what we're going to have to do there now, they're not really settled on this line. I think it's a little bit too deep. They don't want to be in that depth of water. I think it's probably about a foot difference in depth from there to my inside line, but the inside, I think that's working because of the marginal shelf that I'm fishing against. So not only have we got the lily pads, but we've also got a shelf on the inside that we're fishing against. And fish love marginal shelves. So although we have definitely got fish in this deep line, I just don't think they're settled because of the depth. Yeah, there's definitely fish there. Might be worth trying an expander again. because we did definitely get a few decent fish on expanders before. Again as well, always try and vary your hook baits. So I've put a piece of corn in there. Corn's brilliant down this margin, but it might not be the answer out there. So we might just have to try different hook baits just to try and trick them onto the hook. I'm just going to try that. I'm just going to try and expand the pellet. Just see if that makes a difference, because I don't think that piece of corn, oh, there's loads of fish down there now, they're bubbling. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to put a cell 6mm expander on. Just check that's sinking. Yep, that's sinking. There's loads of fish on them lilies. That's good though. I'm just going to leave them just to settle. You know, just because there's blows there, don't go on it. Just leave them to settle. Just need to try and see what's on this line first, and then if there's nothing there, we can refeed this and then go back down there. So just have a quick look. So put a 6mm expander on. And we'll see if we can get one. Yeah, there's definitely fish there now as well. We've got some blows coming up and there's a bit of activity in the peg. So just be patient. We know there's fish there because, oh, and there you go. So we know there's fish there because we're getting blows and indications. So we just need to, it's only a small fish, probably a stocky I think. Small stocky carp. I think it's woke up a little bit now. Yeah, I think that's woke up, that might be a decent carp, that one. I love this style of fishing, really cat and mouse fishing, that you've got to proper think about it and rest lines and go on to another line and feed that line, go on to another one, and it makes you really think about what you're trying to achieve and what you're trying to do in your session. Oh, he's trying to do me under this bank here. Nah, he's all right now, he's come out. So I've put a slightly bigger hook on this one now and a slightly bigger hook length so I can get him in a bit quicker. Now what I am going to do is, I'm not going to go back on this lily line, I'm going to stay in this deep water. There's two reasons for that. I want to keep this lily line settled for as long as I possibly can, because as it goes on into the day, I want the fish to become really confident. And if I'm fishing it loads, what's going to happen is the fish are going to become less confident on it, and we're not going to be able to catch, you know, later on it. So although there's fish there, I just want to give them a rest, let them become confident on the line and let them feed freely. You know, with us catching on this line now, it's good. And there's a little carp. Tried to do me on the brambles, he didn't win. Lovely little carp there, probably £3. Right in the scissors. So beautiful fish again. So that's worked really well. So we've got the two lines going, which is brilliant. And more importantly, we're leaving that line there to rest for as long as we possibly can. So again, I'm going to put a 6mm pellet on. Just check it sinks in the water before I go in. Just squeeze a bit more air out of it. Yep, that's perfect. And what I'm going to do is just going to put a few 4mm pellets in my pot and repeat the process again. You know, it's all about keeping that same process going all the time. Don't break the cycle, just keep going with it. So again, up, lean forward a little bit, feed them pellets. and then just have a quick look. Another quick look on this line. You know, it might be time of day. You know, it might be time of day that we're not catching on this line as much as what we are near the lilies. There's a bit of cover there. So I think what we're going to do in a minute is I'm going to feed this line that we're fishing now with 20 to 34 mils, again with a few pieces of corn in, like I did before. So I'm just going to give it 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yes, no good. Right, so I'm going to refeed this line. So we've had one, but we haven't had another one. So that tells me that there's not an awful lot of fish there willing to feed. So I don't want to waste my time. I'd rather refeed it, get a bit more bait in the peg. Again, a decent feed. And this is the beauty now about leaving this line close in to rest. Because I leave it to rest for like 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. Hopefully now there's a few fish there willing to feed. I'm just going to spread that in over a bit of an area. Now we're going to go back in on this line, down by these lilies, and hopefully it goes in and goes straight under. Which I think, to be honest, it will, because there's a lot of fish down there, I think. There's blowing and there's a lot of blows down there anyway. So I'm not going to feed anything, I'm just going to have a quick look just to see what's there. I've put a 6mm expander on, let everything straighten up, lower everything down, and there we go, it's in. So I'm just going to see what's there. So it's about nicking fish off lines now. So we've refed that deep line, we're going to leave that now for 10-15 minutes, see what we can catch down here. And just keep rotating. Like I say, see what we can catch. So there's a lot of fish there, so if this doesn't go, what I'm going to do is I'm definitely going to refeed it. I'm going to put some pellets in my toss pot, go out, feed some pellets, and try and make something happen down there, because there's fish there. They might want a load of bait, but I don't want to feed loads and loads of bait, because for me, I just don't like to do it. And there you go, straight away. He's trying to get in, so ship out. Just keep solid pressure on. And just keep your pole coming round to the left. And just, there you go, look, he's trying to get in there. So just nice and slowly. And there you go, look. He's coming away now. That's a nice little tip for you there, look. Just, there you go, he's in the middle of the lake now. So although he tried to get in the lilies, just keep nice, steady pressure on. Ship a section out. And just keep the pole nice and low. There's a decent fish, this one. Oh, he might be a ghosty, that one. I think he is. I think he's a ghost carp. Oh, he is. He's a lovely little ghosty. He'd be nice and... Oh, yes. Oh, lovely little ghosty. That's a nice fish. In fact, that's a really nice fish, that one. A cheese toasty, as I like to call them. Oh, I've got to hold it. I love ghost carp. Look at this. He's a beautiful fish, he is. Let's get him on his good side. It's like it should be in your pond at home. Look at him, beautiful. Lovely little ghost carp, that one. Let's pop him back and try again. So that's proof now. That's proof with what we've just said. We've given that line as much rest as we can. While fishing that one, we've had one off there. You know, we've gone 5-10 minutes not having one. We've refed it. We've gone down there and wallop straight away a nice 4 or 5 pound ghost carp. So what we're doing now is definitely working. And if you was in your pleasure session or your match, you'd be definitely hard to beat in a match, and you'd be having a great pleasure session. So repeat the process, 10-15 pellets. Out to me 6 metres. Feed them pellets. So everything settles and just lower it in. Today has really surprised me. Chorley Springs, all I can say is what a venue. You know, we've had carp, tench, roach, skimmers, bream, everything. I've caught loads of fish, and it's these little intricate venues that are really different to the norm, and you can catch loads of fish by just real simple tactics. You know, we're not doing anything special. We've got some 4mm cell pellets that I've just put a bit of water on. We've got some corn and some ground bait, and that's it, and some expanders. That's all we've got, and we've had a brilliant day's fishing. And there we go. So we've just hooked one. I think we're going to call this our last fish of the day. So we've had a really good day, and I'm just going to recap quickly what we've done, all the tactics. So we started across in shallow water, wasn't the best, and come on that deep line and had a carp straight away. So we eliminated the far line because it's a lot of effort for not much reward, so come short. And then we've rotated this margin line and that deep line out into the middle of the lake. Simple tactics, kept everything simple, not gone mad, just kept a bit of bait going in. And we've had a really good day. Caught loads of carp, and it's been really good. So let's get this one in. Oh, it's like a really bright orange one. He's not very happy, this one. Ah, and there he is. Oh no. There you go. There he is. Brilliant. He's in the net. So, like I say, really easy, simple tactics. Nothing overcomplicated. Let's put this down. Hold him up. So if you've enjoyed it, there he is. Beautiful common carp. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed today at Chorley Springs. I certainly have, because we caught a load of carp. Use the tactics that I've shown you, catch loads of fish. I'll see you again, tight lines.